My goodness, y'all, we are finally here to talk about this 3-part documentary that finally touched down last week. The Cult of the Real Housewife, y'all. Let's get into it.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
And we're back. Well, we're back if you guys were in our last live. We're back. And we're here. Y'all, this has been a long time a long time in the making. That this was, when did we hear about this? We heard about this months ago that this was coming, like a while back. So it finally landed on our screens, and I know, I'm pretty sure we both felt the same way, which was like, I mean, we've heard time and time again how Mary, like, her being the church, and is it a cult? Is it not a cult? Step grandfather, like, we've heard it all at this point. So I wasn't going into it like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get to the bottom of this. Like, I wasn't really pressed, to be honest, y'all. If I'm just being completely real with you guys, I was, of course, because we do recap the show, because we do talk about the show, obviously I was going to talk about it. Obviously we were going to talk about it, but it wasn't something where I was like, oh my gosh, this is just ready to just blow my mind. Like, but after watching it, I will say there were certain things, there was more that I actually want to talk about. There were certain parts that I kind of was like, okay. For me, the second part is really what opened my mind up. The third part kind of started to lose me a little bit. It wasn't as intense, but the second part for sure, I was like, I enjoyed hearing more about her grandmother, Mama. And yeah, it gave us something to talk about, y'all. It gave us something to talk about. What say you?
I didn't catch it on the first time, like when it premiered, and so yeah, I was surprised, because I feel like everybody should be able to see what's going on. And it's just scary to see how many people can be. And I'm not talking about Mary per se as a cult. I'm saying people that get caught up in cults, how they don't see it. It's so weird to me that you can get so caught up and want to give your money. You know what it reminded me of? Scientology. I was like, oh, y'all giving up money like this? It was an eye opener. It was an eye opener. So yeah, and it brought me back to why I didn't like Mary at first.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, for me, it's not just Mary. Like, it's not. She might be the face of stuff, but it's not. There's multiple people in this whole thing that I feel like can be, have the finger pointed at them for certain things. That she's not the only person. I feel like that is. Should be looked at as the guilty party, so to speak.
The husband of hers.
With that being said, let's get into it. The part one was, it's a cult. For me, we know that she said, like, on season 1, obviously, of the show, that she has multiple houses. I don't know why. I just never thought, like, she's never talked about having a home in New York. So when we found out that she had a penthouse and has a penthouse in New York, I was like, I don't know. That just was interesting to me. There were, y'all, several YouTubers, several bloggers that were seen in the documentary, which I have heard now at this point in time that a lot of those individuals were not informed that they were going to be in the documentary, and the way were put into the documentary. Numbers were inflated and stuff to kind of give off a certain effect. So I'm even kind of looking at production, honestly, with a side eye too. So that's what I'm saying. Like there's multiple, there's multiple sides to every story, y'all. And I can't just sit here and be like, oh, this is definitely what happened. This is definitely the truth behind everything, when we still are only getting one side of things. And they even said multiple times in the documentary that, Mary, Robert Sr., like there are people have refused to comment, or, they haven't come forth, and she hasn't said anything other than what she said about the whole thing, the show. So I'm not too dead set on saying like, yeah, this is the gospel, no pun intended. But what also stuck out to me was we finally got the age gaps and stuff like that. And I know I remember I said it on one of our episode reviews that I'm like, Robert Sr., he had to be younger than her grandmother, just based on what I've gathered and kind of dissected. I already knew like, he had to have been younger than their grandmother. And we actually get that breakdown in this in this series. And we find out that Mary was 3 years old when he came into her life, and they married when she was 22. He's 20 years. He's 20 years.
No, Mama's 20 years senior. Yeah, Mama's 20 years his senior.
He's younger. He's 20 years younger than Mama. And so yeah, it's like a 20-20-20 type of situation, so to speak. And yeah, that was kind of that put some things into perspective for me, because no, she's not blood related to him. But for me to sit here and say that that's still not weird, and that's still not something that I've felt since hearing about it, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. I still find that even more odd now, knowing that she was that young when he came into the picture. Her older sister was in it. Oh, obviously much of her family was in it, but her older sister, Denise, if I'm not mistaken, Denise, she was in it. She was very vocal about things, and she actually had called Mary a hypocrite, and says that she's always been a fraud, says that she's only concerned about herself, and she even recalls Mary just being like very needy, a lot of times at the expense of the family. But at the same time, she said she admired her because she had a nice spirit when she wanted to. So I don't know about you, but the sister kind of, I don't know. I was picking up what she was putting down at certain points, but other points I kind of was like, I don't know what to think too much. And like, even when she said that Robert had bought her, I don't know. No, is that in a different part? That might be a different part. Anyway, let me not say that then. Yeah. Cameron was in this, and he had also been someone we were introduced to on the show, actually, by Lisa. And was there affair rumors going around when he first got introduced to us on the show? I don't remember if there was affair.
No, there weren't no rumors just yet. It was more, to me at that time, it was more like he was being taken, because it was more, you know what, he alluded to me, the way I was watching it, it didn't allude that, oh yeah, we're having an affair, or there's something sexual, just something like that. It more, to me, like he was more so getting taken for something.
Literally funny business going on. Yeah.
Yeah. So
how did you feel about the Enoch siblings, which I think they were, y'all, if you didn't watch it, they are 3 siblings. Let me put the picture back up. It was the sister Rosalind, Ernest, who was the organist, and Michael, who was actually like her, I guess, like little, child play boyfriend or whatever when they were younger, I guess. And he is at the point, Michael specifically is at the point where he like basically wishes that he didn't even know Mary. um Rosalind, a lot of times, between work, she said that she actually worked for them for free. Wild to me. um and they were actually brought into the church through their father, if I'm not mistaken. They were like, he had given up on the faith, and then their grandmother connected them with
Wait,
Mary's
wasn't he
grandmother.
the conductor? He was the
Mhm.
choir.
Yeah,
He
his
wasn't
the
the
dad
choir director.
choir director.
Okay.
um and we actually, credit cards, debit cards. They flash back to season 2 where Mary was recounting the tragic car accident that was involving a daughter of the church who had lost her life. And it was actually the Rosalind Enoch who said that that was her niece. That was her brother's daughter. And I remember that conversation. I remember Mary saying that. How did you feel about um, how did you feel about that? Because they took it as though she was mocking the situation, making light of the situation, was being nonchalant about the situation, about the accident. I should say, not even situation, the accident that took the life of their loved one. And they were really also even more so taken aback by the point that Mary didn't even reach out to them afterwards. How did you feel about that?
I felt
And
very bad. And what?
the GoFundMe that was actually coordinated in his daughter's honor or whatever. And the fact that Mary told church members, allegedly told church members not to donate. If they did donate, take it back. Yeah.
Yeah, how I feel about that is that's terrible. Um, if that allegedly happens, sis, am I tripping? Is my computer tripping that I don't see our banner? Maybe the banner is moving around. I don't know. Let me check. But anyway, for me, it goes right back to what goes around comes around. Because let's be clear, Mary, you wasn't invited to your mother's service. So clock that T. You wasn't invited to your own mother's service. And I felt bad for you at that time, but I really don't now. I really don't. You were to put it as softly as I can put it, you were messed up. You was a effed up individual. The way you treated that family, the way you told that story to Whitney's daughters. I mean, her kids. I remember that, and I was thinking to I thought it was a lie. I
If,
remember when she told that story.
if I'm not
And
mistaken, wasn't Whitney kind of upset, kind of pissed off
hell
that?
yeah, she was upset. So was I. Don't tell my kids that. Don't tell my kids nothing like that without running it by me, especially the nonchalant way you put it. And on top of that, you gonna say, uh, just put your seatbelt on. What? Like you didn't say that was a dear friend of mine, you know, nothing. It was no compassion, no nothing. And so, yeah, girl, I don't feel bad for you and yeah, I don't feel bad for you not being able to go see your dad to pay your last respects for your mom. And that was put on the season, this last season of Salt Lake City. So yeah, what goes around comes around. And you like literally for the same thing. I don't even want to I don't even want to put it out there like that, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there any damn way. You wondering why your son on drugs? You wondering why your son is having issues? Um, Girl, he's watched you his entire life. He don't know nothing else but you and your quirky, weird. I can't even put quirky on it. You're just weird. The way you listen to your weird husband, the way you disrespected your mother, the way you disrespected your sister. And I'm not saying that your sister is like, you know, y'all sisters. So I'm not saying that y'all have to be cool and cordial, but like the sister said, I know the story. I was with you. We were together. So certain things you're not gonna be able to be like Meredith and say, well, you can say it was one way and I can say it was the other way. No. Because we got other siblings. Isn't it like a lot of them too,
I
sister?
thought there were like 6 of them. So I don't know where the rest of them stand. Only certain family members that were mentioned. Obviously, y'all are still trying to. We have this partial family like tree or whatever. But there's definitely at least a couple more of them. I I feel like there are certain points where I was like, okay, I believe that. I could see that happening. Other points I was like, I don't know so much. But one thing is for sure, I feel like for me though, I feel like it didn't just start with Mary. I do feel like, and I'm not obviously ever going to try to talk poorly on those who have passed, but I do feel like the certain framework for certain things was set up kind of by even her grandmother, I would say. I also, Cameron, even with that, I do believe that something definitely did happen, but I'm not gonna say like at one point or another, like could he have potentially been complicit in certain, a little bit more complicit than not? Like I could see it going both ways. And what else? What other notes did I have about this first part? Ooh, and I did feel a way when it just whenever they put numbers to things, y'all, it always gets me because I'm a visual person when it comes to stuff like that. So just knowing that he had saved 3 years worth of tithe before finding a church home only to land there, I was like, oof, like if just to know that is insane to me.
He's very calculated, sister. He's very calculated. That's a
Talking about
calculated man.
private jets, trips, and $2,500 shoes. I'm just like, and for him to have been working at Goldman Sachs, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if I believe that you were just 100% like just, taken by this and you didn't also want to like play some part into it at some point or another. I don't know. I was whatever. I don't have anything else more to say about the first part. The second part though for me is where it really like the ante was upped. I was like, what the and was it her sister that said like apparently like they would have intercourse on Saturday and then next thing you know, Sunday morning Cameron was up there on the pulpit spreading the word just like Mary was. Okay.
Nobody saw that. Nobody.
Question. That's what I'm saying. Like it's
But here's the other thing too, though, because when we thinking about it, because it's gonna get in, we gonna get into it when we get to part 3. But it didn't put nothing. It didn't put. I was gonna say it didn't put nothing on Robert's mind. Senior. It didn't put nothing on Robert Senior's mind. Like,
but maybe he didn't care because in part 3 we find out.
That's what I said. That's what I was just saying. So that's what I'm saying.
I think,
what was good for the goose was good for the gander. So he was like, well, she got a little youngster. Long as I can do what I didn't want to do, and I guess whatever, because ain't nobody really, or he didn't put it past her. He didn't put it past her. He was like, nah, she's loyal to me because he's a narcissist. So he's in his head thinks that she's gonna be loyal to him.
I think that if there's one thing I know for sure, one takeaway I know for sure at this point, if I didn't know already, I can 100% say now that I do believe that that is a union of convenience, and there was never no actual like true feelings for one another, or made off of like just some bed of genuine love and intimacy and all these things. Like I don't see that between them at all, even more so now. um
Wait, before you just jump over that. You don't think that he groomed her? Because if you think about it, when we go through the whole documentary, the mama had nothing to do with it.
I
So
think they
all
both
of
had
the
ulterior motives. I
other
think Robert had ulterior motives. I think Mary did too. That's why I say I think it's
okay,
a
no. Yeah. But you have to understand that Mary was a young woman at the same time, so she could be easy. Well, first of all, we find out Mary was, as a kid and as a youngster, that she was a rebellious teenager and she was a
Mhm.
rebellious kid. So she literally got in trouble, like Enoch said all the time. Like she just got in stuff, and we had to go look for her. She
People
ran
stealing other
away.
men, chasing men that had money and stuff. Girls
Right.
trying to down on her, ready to fight. Like, yeah, yeah,
So
Mary.
we understand that she has a checkered background early on. Early on, she was already like a problem child. But that goes back to the reason why that happened is because of her mama and her relationship. They had a strange relationship early, and I think that is because Mary, at a young age, she just was different. She just, for some reason, something was different about her, and that's why I'm wondering, that man was in her life at 3. Hmm.
I
What
mean,
I'm
that's the
saying is,
like her sister, like wasn't just Mary. So there was a lot of obviously other kids. Our sister said what there's like 24 grandkids.
yeah,
So
but he only but what the sister say, he only bought one of the grandkids a BMW. So even if with
I
all of
think
them being there,
well, I think that again, she felt some type of way. She
uh,
always wanted to be in a finer position in life. I think that he
who you talking about, the
also
sister? Oh, no, you talking about Mary? Yeah. Like
Mary.
the fast stuff.
He also had his reasons for wanting to. Obviously, like you said, he was it Indiana, Minneapolis? No, where were they? Yeah.
I think it was Was it Indiana? Wherever
Oh,
they were. Oh, let me think. Let me think.
why do I have that in my notes? What the Indianapolis? Yeah.
Oh, okay, Indianapolis.
I think that, and him even like even the way that he got with Mama is kind of weird because she wasn't even checking for him like that at first. It was
At
him that was
all.
trying to be in her face and whatnot. And then next thing you knew, they were getting married, and I even think that that was still not built off of a bed of love and intimacy and stuff like that. And whoop de whoop.
I got a
I think
question. I got a question for you, move on, sister, because my older age will make me forget stuff. Literally, what did you think about Mama? Only the reason why I'm asking that is it was a question when she was being interviewed by this white man. Um, and he asked her something like, why do they call you Mama? She said, well, God called me Mama.
that's what I'm
Okay.
saying. Like, I could see certain similarities with her that I see
Okay.
with
With Mary. Okay. Because
and then
I probably was,
people,
yeah, I was.
people I don't want to say they hide behind the mask of religion, but like yeah, there's certain
Do they,
things,
man?
the apple don't fall far from the tree sometimes. And I feel like I we also found out too, well, I mean, I think we already I kind of I don't know, for some odd reason I assumed that him and Mama didn't have any children. So that means that Robert Jr.
No,
is
they
his only
didn't.
child. Hmm.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah.
maybe we don't.
Didn't say that he had kids before he came there at 22. It sounds like he didn't.
Oh, wait. Yeah, he was only 22 years old. That's right. Okay.
So,
Okay.
um, yeah, I there's a lot of layers to this thing. I feel like there's no definitive way to really say, no, this is what happened. This person did it, and this person. I think there is multiple parts that are being played by different people. And
do you think there's a definitive, watching the 3-part documentary, do you think there's a definitive thing that Mama had nothing to do with the arrangement of Mary and Robert getting married?
Say that one more time.
Watching the 3-part documentary, do you think Mama had anything to do with Mary and Robert Sr. being arranged to be married or even getting married? Because that's how it was brought to us.
Yeah, I 100% think at this point that, I think I even wrote it down. Yeah, it's like another thing, because we only get one side of this entire situation. We know for the only thing that we know for a fact is that Mary was married prior to Robert Sr., right? We know that for a fact now. And it was the previous church member that said that Mary herself said that, and even admitted it at the reunion. We have that clear. So again, if, as the old church member had said, if Mama was so very fond of, and I don't remember, I think this is part 2, part 3, I don't know. If Mama was so fond of Mary's first husband, right? With that being said, too, we find out later on the church doesn't really take too kindly to divorce. They don't really do divorce, yada, yada, yada. So with all that being said, in order for her and Robert to get together and get married, right, she would have to divorce her first husband, who Mama again loved. Divorce is frowned upon. With all that, we have to think that Mama then didn't, like, this wasn't her blessing then. She didn't want this to happen because things would have to happen in order for that to happen, I feel. So I don't remember, and I wanted to go back and kind of see where, like, did Mary say, and that would also make that false too, because did Mary say that her mom wanted, like, she was supposed to marry Robert, or did she just say her mom was supposed to take over the church? Like, what was her exact? What was her exact word?
Her word more was, because I'm not gonna say it verbatim, because don't give me the line, allegedly. But literally, she said it was more of the fact that my mom wanted the church, and the fact was supposed to take over the church, and then she added to make it so that we would be more on Mary's side, she says, and she wanted to marry, she was mad that she wasn't the one that married Robert. And I'm thinking, girl, he is not a catch. Let's be clear. And I don't care. He was a catch to your grandmother because he's 20 years.
Yeah. So then why was
she? Exactly. She wanted to be the mama figure. Yeah.
So that, I completely don't believe that anymore. And that's why I said, I think that it just worked out for the best possible situation for Robert and for her in the end.
No, Robert was to me. Robert knew if he did not get to marry, that once, if anything happened to Mama, see, he didn't have a long enough time with Mama. I don't know how long they were.
She passed in 1990. She was 65. She's young.
She probably passed in 97, because I know when they said that, that was one of my favorite years. And but when I say that, I say that to say that I don't think he had got. Mama was smart. Mama was smarter, and she wasn't just like leaving stuff to him. She had all the grandchildren. She adopted children. So like literally, she wasn't. She literally was not gonna probably leave anything to him. Not the way she.
I don't know about on paper, but they did say, it was said at least 1 or 2 times in the documentary that the idea was that he would take over, in her, like they did say that.
Wait,
So
take over the church and be like bishop?
yeah, that he was going to take her role in the church. Yeah, but
Yeah,
again, I don't.
but that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what
Just with,
what I'm talking about.
maybe his name wouldn't have been on the papers though. Like you could put anybody up there, but if your name is not on the papers and stuff, and you're not actually, you know, in charge of the estate for real, then you're just the face. Like, you don't really
True.
hold any powers.
Yeah. I mean, but literally, I guess when you think about it, if you are the first lady of the church, or you own this church, this is your blood, sweat, and tears, and you are married, and your husband pastors with you, or co-pastors, or whatever the case is. I don't, because I still yet to believe or hear Mary do a sermon. I know they get up there and they talk the way her and Robert both talked about, if you serve God or you trust in God, then you gotta trust me. It's like, what? No, we like, yeah, we can trust man to a certain degree, but we're not supposed to put our trust in man like that. That's not what it's supposed to be about. Like, literally, if we going off of biblical stuff or Bible stuff. But what I'm saying is, I feel like he was using some of the verbiage from the grandmother and using that, because even Mary was against the church. She wasn't even part of the church no more when her grandmother passed.
He was not
She
shunned.
was exiled. She was
Yeah,
exiled for a little bit.
yeah, which is like that's enough. That's even more reason why I'm like, there's no way that her grandmother said, yeah, this
But a
is what I
blessing
want.
on none of it.
That's not possible at that point. And I wonder where her ex-husband is now. I'm curious. Her dad
Oh,
though.
what's his name? Dana? What's his name?
Yeah.
Dana? Yeah, I think it was Dana. Okay, go ahead.
I want to say, what did it say? It said that, yeah, their dad, I know Denise and Mary, they have the same father. I'm not sure about the rest of the siblings, but them specifically, their dad, which Mary has referred to on the show before, had left when she was 5. But didn't she say she knew where he lived? Like, didn't she say, wasn't not John Wayne Dahmer? Didn't she say last season?
Oh yeah, around
like,
the corner from him. Yeah.
Like, so now I'm wondering. I don't know. I'm just questioning anything she said in relation to her family, the church, anything. Now it's like, are you just making certain stuff up? Because even her sister said, like, you talking about, basically, we didn't come from nothing. We were, on government assistance at one point. Like so the whole time you're so upset with Brittany because she quote unquote called you poor, and you wasn't poor. That wasn't the case. Yada yada yada. But only for your sister then now to get on here and pretty much cooperate and say no, that we didn't have it like that. So I think Mary really does live in her own little world, y'all.
You come from humble beginnings, and nothing's wrong with that.
So she used to roll wild. She used to run away a lot. She took her sister's car for 2 weeks.
Girl, and she's still breathing. I can't believe the sister didn't pounce on her. I would have pounced on her. Girl, you would have a limp for sure. What leg? The right leg is what you use the gas in the brake. Yeah, your right leg would have a limp. You're not driving my car ever. You ain't gonna. It's gonna be hard for you to drive any car.
That would not have ever happened on my watch. All in all, I wonder too, because they let us know in the documentary, y'all, that Mama had set up several businesses, soul food cooking, hair salons, etc., because she wanted them to basically be self-sufficient, self-operating. So because at the time when they went to SLC, like like if you think there's not a lot of Black people there now, it was even more scarce back then. So she wanted them to be self-sustaining in that way. And that's why I'm like, again, have I thought before, like, where does Mary get all this money from? Like, where does she get the ability to buy all of these things and to have, loads and loads of stuff and be living in a mansion, all this type of stuff? Have I thought, been a little like, before? Of course I have. But now I'm still like, this didn't. We didn't get as many hard receipts. I feel like in this documentary as I would have wanted to make me be like, yep, this is what it is and this is what it's not. Because are all those businesses still operating? Are they not? What specifically in what did her grandmother's estate look like when it all was divvied up and stuff like that? Like, I need to know the hard numbers on stuff to really
I
be
got
able to
you.
see
I got you.
this and that. Denise says that
Well,
inheritance is a lie.
well, for
Yeah.
me, I'm putting Mary right there with Jen Shaw. You took from older people. You took money from people. You are. That's why you and Jen, y'all bumped heads because y'all so similar. Y'all are the same person. You are. Yeah. You. There is no way that we can account for the money that you're making, the amount of money. The people that in the documentary even didn't even know that she had this lavish, whatever, lavish closet. The fact that lady got up on TV and said that I think I need to get an apartment for my, for my clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, like it goes back to, that's why it's called a cult, and this is why the brainwashing. Because if anybody that's at her church watch this documentary and know the people that's in this documentary, because y'all, the tree don't lie. This tree is built of the people you guys know, and so it's like, how brainwashed can you be? How could you really not connect the dots and just not come out with another outcome? I don't understand. I really don't.
I'm not
Hey,
working
Ken.
your house for free. Hey, I'm not working your house for free. I'm not cashing out my 401k. I'm not taking loans. I'm not going to be scolded because I didn't get you a birthday present. None of that. And y'all,
And we got that, and we have that footage though. We have that, Barb. We
yeah,
have this. We have this in our repertoire. We can pull that up. We can listen to her
she said
go off
she
on her
didn't deny it.
congregation.
She didn't deny it, but she said that it was taken out of context. I don't know what other context could have been pulled from that, Mary, but you said what you said, and we know exactly what you meant. Because a lot of the ways in which she's came across on the show, there is certain ways that there are certain things that were said in this documentary that supported the ways that we've seen her be on the show. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't see the parallels with that. When half the church left, oh my God, when half the church left during the walkout service, I was just wondering, I was like, who gave them this footage? I was so curious about that. Like, how did they even get this footage? That's funny. I was kind of,
I feel like the mama would have got that footage.
I realized that Dan Cosby, that's Debbie's son. Debbie, who we saw earlier on in the season, who, remember, then they went to a church and she ran up and hugged
the older lady.
Yeah, the brown skin lady.
Not Deborah. Wait, when you pull the tree up, it's not Deborah right here.
Dan.
When you pull up.
Yeah. I'm saying, yeah, that's her.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's why I had to pull it. I was looking up and you, okay, yeah.
She still looks the same. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So, that's why when you did that, I was like, oh.
He's no longer with it, but his mom is still. So I'm like, oh my God. Like, I wonder who really, I want to see exactly who still is down with the get down and who's not. Because as we know, they started a second church, which was because her mom went and started a second church. In the final scene, when we were in that church or whatever, New Faith, I forget what it's called, New Faith, I don't know. Is that still the same church that her mom went and started, or is that a whole nother church now? I wanted to kind of know.
Oh, I wonder.
Curious about that. I also was like, again, I get it, y'all. Cult mindsets, manipulation. I get it. It's a thing, but when her cousin Danny and his wife Kim, um, how they were able to cause a wedge in their marriage was beyond me, because like, like, I don't understand how they were able to get in between y'all to the point that now she's over there helping and doing stuff so much with them that you guys are at odds. And it's called like, I just, this is, again, y'all, this is why you can't let people all in your business. Like, what goes on at your house needs to be what goes on in your house, and you need to always be on the same person who lives in your house, because I don't even understand how that was.
But sister, we got to remember, we talking about your relative being also your bishop and your pastor and your, you got to remember we're under total different. Like, these people are looking to be closer to God. Now, prime example, sister.
Naive.
Prime
you
example.
Can't allow that to be how. That's why you see this happen all the time online. There's stories about this all the time of people getting got, so to speak, because they allow to fall into, oh, well, the Lord says, like, and it's really just a person exercising their own motives and their own wants and desires through the word of God. And you have to understand, you have to be able to learn, or you have to be able to exercise some level of discernment, y'all. Otherwise, you can easily fall into these types of traps by people.
What about the cousin that did the church, that fixed the church? Look at how he treats Mary.
Yeah.
Oh, Santa Maria. I was like, what the hell is wrong with you,
Joe?
He's like, it's a disconnect. It's like they pedestalize Mary. Like, they all put her on, like, the way they've been talked to. It's like she's y'all way to get to heaven. If you're not respecting and doing towards her and Robert, then you're not gonna get in heaven. And we see it in, definitely in part 3. But it was just like, and it don't make no sense, outside looking in. But people really think that that's their way to heaven, and it's like, no. Like, no, it's not
like that. Y'all need to run the opposite way. If anybody says that, you just married, like, literally sprint the other way, because that's not how it's supposed to work, y'all. And I'm nobody's pastor, I'm nobody's bishop, I'm nobody's anything in that regard, but that's something I can fully say, no, that's not how it's supposed to work. Also, I feel like too, I even feel like I allowed myself to fall into the idea of Mary not showing up to the season 2 reunion. We were all, I feel like, so dead set on, oh, well, she's not doing that because look how Jenny has been towards her, and I wouldn't do that either. And justice for Mary. Like, Mary really was allowed to escape accountability for what was really going on in her real life, potentially. And even still since then, she's been able to, like, she's gone off unscathed to the point now that we're like, oh my God, Mary can do no wrong. We just love her on the show. She came back with this new energy. Like, the way in which she's been able to float around this and rebrand herself, and to actually win over the hearts and minds of so many viewers, to the point that, people are, she's like on people's Mount Rushmore of Housewives, like, needs to be studied. That's what this has shown me, this entire 3-part. That's one of the main things I left with thinking, is just like, wow, she's been able to finesse this entire situation to her advantage now, to the point that no one's really even
what are you talking about, sister?
Without providing any real proof that it's not
sister. Sis, we got finesse too. We got right on her bandwagon.
I didn't even think about we missed. You didn't come to the reunion because I'm like, oh my God. No, it's not because Jenny. It's because this other stuff with this cult, like, it was about to hit the fan. Like, completely didn't even think about that at the time. So that's why from here on out, y'all,
literally,
will be looking at. I'll be handling Mary with the long handle spoon from here on out. I will be. Again, I'm not saying that everything that was said in this makes me believe that it's 100% true, but I would be crazy as hell, I think, to think that not some of it has some truth to it, or again, because like I said before, a lot of what we saw in this documentary has actually been acted out by Mary in so many words on the show. Even to say like how she supposedly said Cameron passing or whatever was yeah, that happened because he lied on her or whatever. It makes me think of like the stance that she even took with Brittany and stuff like that, saying that like, oh, well, this or that, that's basically what you get for talking poorly on me, or saying that I'm ungodly, like, or whatever. She has she does have this this energy of enjoying to see like revenge carried out, so to speak, I feel like, in ways on the show. So and who knows, maybe she learned that from Robert and his hazing of the young men at the church, like, because that was something that was talked about in the documentary as well. And I think that's where that's I feel like his colors lie.
That made me cry. That made me cry.
Yeah, that you could tell that they were still visibly it was very traumatic for them. And what should have happened there was that she should have left him and kicked his ass out the church, but she didn't, because like we said, divorce is frowned upon according to them. So again, you guys can't allow, that's another thing, like, don't allow yourself to allow people to wreak havoc just because, like, that's not the that's not what the Lord wouldn't want you to you know, kick them out of your lives or whatever. Like, no, sometimes people need to be cut off. And God will understand, trust me. He will understand. That's but ooh, that's the all time that's all the time I have, unfortunately. I do want to talk more about this. There's a lot more with it, but hopefully we can maybe come back at some point and talk a little bit more. If y'all are interested, let us know in the comments. But this was interesting, to say the least.
I'm gonna say let's do a part two. Yeah, let's do a part two, sis. Let's do a part two.
Yeah, we'll definitely find some time to do that, y'all. But for now, comments. You froze. Uh-oh, you're frozen.
It's okay.
Y'all, with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, do all the things. Let us know what you guys thought about this.
Just close out the show, and let's do a part two.
Just let us know what you guys think of our commentary. Let us know what you think of the documentary below. And yes, we'll see you later. Bye, y'all.